I am 29 F, and my boyfriend is 35 M. We've been together for 2 years, and I think I am completely over the relationship because he drinks every day and is unmotivated, and it's all just sinking in. Hey everyone, I am 29 years old and live with my boyfriend who is 35 years old. We have been together for almost 2 years. We live together in a mountain town in Colorado. I think I am over the relationship and need to go my separate way. He drinks almost every night, he doesn't really have long-term goals besides gaming or drinking, and he doesn't really respect me. I am currently working on getting my PhD and work full-time on top of school. I am always so busy, I have meetings, I have things I am doing. And he just doesn't. So he drinks. I am over it. I am tired of going to bed early and then being woken up by his drunk self trying to cuddle me or have sex with me. I am tired of him getting mad when I ask him for space so I can work on school. Or sleep. He literally gets offended when I sleep because I am not paying attention to him. I left this morning to work elsewhere on school because he is home today, and he's angry at me. But all he wanted to do was play Battlefield really loud. Cannot work on a thesis while hearing gunshots in the background. I am exhausted because he doesn't do anything besides work, drink, and play video games. And I have a million hobbies and goals and aspirations. I also don't really drink. I have never been a fan of alcohol and find it quite exhausting. Every night when I am in a lecture or working on school, he just gets drunk and angry at me for being in school. Is he jealous? Am I not finding enough time for him? Am I being selfish? I am tired of beer cans all over our apartment. We're adults, we don't live in a party house, and I am tired of it feeling that way. I know he is depressed. I have tried to encourage him to try hobbies, try new things, explore interests that he has, etc. But he hasn't in almost 2 years, and to a certain point, that's not my fault or problem. And I am tired. I feel like I am carrying the relationship. I feel like I am the only one who contributes or has goals and wants a great life. And I feel like he is holding me back. I have tried to talk to him about this, but he just gets loud, angry, and leaves. He avoids this conversation at all costs, which brings me back to the depression piece. At what point do you sacrifice yourself for someone who doesn't want to change? Should I give up? I really care about him and we've had a lot of fun, but I am just exhausted. How can I talk to him about this in a better way that doesn't offend him? I know he needs help, but he doesn't seem to even want it. I do love him, and I wish he would change, but is that even fair for me to wish? Too long didn't read. I am 29 years old and live with my boyfriend who is 35. He drinks all the time, he is depressed and unmotivated, but hasn't changed in 2 years. At what point do I end this? At what point do I end this, now? I think it's best if you leave. If he doesn't respect you, then it's just time to go. It feels he doesn't care at all that I'm in an intense PhD program and work full time. I'm stretched thin, and I do feel guilty. I just want this PhD so badly. You are not giving up, you are moving on. Take it from my grandma. She married my alcoholic mess of a grandpa thinking she would change him and make him a better man. 3 kids, and 25 years later she asked him to move out. He lived in a trailer for the next 25 years and they moved back in together in old age to save money. They were Catholic, so got married to have sex and refused divorce. But my grandma drilled in my head over and over again that people don't change and not to pick a project man because you would just spin your wheels and never get anywhere. It's excellent advice. The only helpful advice I got from my dad was that women marry a man hoping they'll change and they never do. Men marry a woman hoping they won't change but they always do. Obviously a stereotype and not 100% true, but a good warning nonetheless. 2 things. First, it sounds as though you two aren't compatible as live-in partners. Living with him is affecting you in a negative manner, making you exhausted and making you feel guilty about having such a full life. Second, he may have a serious problem with alcohol, and until he wants to, his alcohol consumption is not likely to change. And it sounds as though he doesn't want to change. You deserve better than to tie yourself to an unmotivated alcoholic. He will only drag you down with him. Second, this, I've been that guy, have been left for these reasons and I definitely deserved it. My 33 F husband, 31 meters, wants a baby that I don't want. I don't want to have a baby. There are many reasons I don't, up to and including I don't want to put financial pressure on myself. There are more things I wanted to do before I have a child, and I don't want my child to be in a collapsing world. It's too uncertain. My husband's sister just announced she is pregnant, which turned my husband's mind towards babies. Previously, we had been of an accord that we didn't want babies and we were okay not having them. Now my husband has changed his mind. What do I do? Too long didn't read. My husband and I agreed we didn't want children. His sister just announced she's pregnant, and now he's changed his mind and wants babies. I still don't. What should I do? ETA, also some stuff that makes me think that caregiving wouldn't be a joint task. This is the sort of stuff that I want to work through before having a child. He doesn't want to change diapers, and has told me he will go to his mother or even the neighbor before he changes a diaper himself, which concerns me. This happened to a friend, he went baby crazy, they had a child, he decides it's too difficult, leaves. She's now alone with a baby she didn't want in the first place. Fun times. Has to be an enthusiastic yes from both parties to have a kid. Kids are all consuming for 18 years. Even if you have a lot of help/staff, they're a massive responsibility that will totally change every day of your life. If you don't want to have kids and he does, you should get divorced. If he's not sure or you're not sure, I suggest couples counseling. Kids are not something you can compromise on, at all. You can't have half a kid. This is a fundamental incompatibility. It takes two people to decide to have a child, one to decide not to. Anything else is a recipe for disaster. Believe me, I have a toddler, and even though she was very much wanted and planned for, there were some times when she was an infant I almost wished I could run out. Part of that was PPD, but still, I can't imagine what it would be like mentally if you felt forced into it to start with. That said, I would suggest some serious talks/couples therapy, since having kids or not is a pretty big line you really can't compromise on. My friend didn't want kids and his wife did. She said that if they had some, she would do all the child care and he wouldn't have to worry about it. About 1 week into newborn stage, that was found to be not at all what you can do. You need all hands on deck with a baby up every 2 hours. This is something you both need to work out and settle on a hard yes or no on both sides. Can't upvote this enough. As someone who's had a baby, it is insanely hard work. If my husband had ever said he wouldn't change a diaper, I'd have, well, probably burst into exhausted tears and begged my mom to take me home. You cannot do it unless he is prepared to give everything he's got, and then some. He is being ignorant and immature. Babies are the top of the list of things that are 2 yeses and 1 no, so the answer is, no babies. This might be a phase, but the answer is level-headed communication. If it's not a phase, he'll have to decide if he'd rather be a father or continue to be married to you. These forks in the road are so hard and I'm sorry you're both going through it. It's just especially rough right now. I just lost someone in my immediate family and just got and recovered from COVID. It makes me feel like I'm losing it. Based on that diaper comment, no way would I have a child with this person. No fucking way. I wouldn't even continue to date a person who made that comment. No phones in bed? M29 F25. Hi, my fiance has expressed that she'd like to try and stop bringing out phones to bed, so that we can spend more intimate time with each other. We're getting married soon, and she wants to try to start doing this now to set up some good habits for the future, especially when we have kids. I'm all about this. She suggested maybe we could try reading a book together, or listening to podcasts, or similar. I was wondering if there were any ideas here about other ways/activities we could make sure we create an intimate, not necessarily sexual, space in bed. Too long didn't read, how to create more intimacy at bedtime. Remember that if you want this to be a regular habit that's easy to keep, it probably shouldn't be something fun and creative and productive. That's great for date ideas, and staying in bed together for a few hours doing such things makes for a great night in date. But typically people want to unwind, turn their brain off, and chill in the half hour or so before they try to go to sleep. Think about what each of you like to do when your brain is burned out. You have zero energy for anything social or productive, and you just want to be distracted till you pass out. That's the kind of thing you can do in bed most nights without fail. Otherwise it's easy to have these great ideas, do them while your initial motivation holds out, and then run into days where you're just too drained to want to do any of that and you just want to kill time with a dead brain. And then you feel guilty for doing that, and your partner feels disappointed you flaked on these fun ideas you both had, etc. etc. My advice: don't plan activities. Sure, a book or podcast will probably lead to better sleep hygiene than a screen, but you also risk just replacing one activity with another. Just go to bed together. Go maybe 30 to 60 minutes before you get sleepy, and see what happens. See what conversations you end up having, or what physicality happens, cuddles, massages, and so on. I find that when my partner and I are in bed but aren't quite ready to fall asleep, we start talking about really interesting things. It's like our relaxed minds bring up things we wouldn't think to talk about as we're preparing dinner or washing dishes. Of course, you can read in bed. My partner and I love reading our own books side by side, or listen to guided meditations, or gentle yoga. But don't feel compelled to plan how you relax. Unplanned time is hugely beneficial in many ways. I was told by two of my therapists that beds are only to be used for two activities, sleep and sex. It helps your sleep if you do that. If you plan any activities, make sure you don't do them in the bed. I think it's a good idea to establish habits before kids. It starts with you two, and when your kids are grown, it'll be back to being you two. Keeping it alive is very important. And don't forget to touch each other. I don't mean sexually, though that's good too. But caress, linger, squeeze, nuzzle, etc. Humans have a long and deeply evolved need for intimate touch. It sends important signals to our brains about being safe, secure, and loved. Just wanted to say that sounds like an amazing idea. I might have to start that too. It will also help you both get to sleep quicker. Have a great wedding day, and I wish the best for both of you. Thank you. It's in 26 days.